Hey guys, it's Brad with College SportsCast, and we are presented by the Fanboys. Welcome back. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Brad with College SportsCast. We are here tonight to do a game day pick'em show for you, and we're going to discuss some college football topics and possibly some basketball topics as well. So I have a different guy on with me, John Roberts and Jason. So Jason's doing AAU basketball. And he told me, and I forgot, he's either in Phoenix or he's in Dallas this weekend. The next 2 weekends, one's in Dallas and one's in Phoenix, and I can't remember which one's which. So he was heading out. They leave on Thursdays and do a weekend tournament. So he was heading out to one of those destinations today. And John Roberts messaged me earlier and said that his work schedule was just crazy today and that he didn't think he was going to get back and done and home in time. So I scrambled and got John Hammonds on with us tonight. So welcome in, John.
I appreciate it.
So I'll start out with my welcome to College SportsCast. We are sponsored by Bluegrass Brads. That's me, by the way. And we are also sponsoring the Fanboys and Greenville Sports Media as well now. And if you're ever in the Scottsville, Kentucky area or Bowling Green, Kentucky area, stop in and see us. We have great beef burgers and snow cones and ice cream. And
he's the ice cream man.
I am. So, stop in and see us, and welcome to College SportsCast. And then I'm going to put up that John Hammonds is with me. We're going to welcome John Hammonds back to the show. He's been on the show many times before, but he's on tonight as a guest for us. Like I said, John Roberts and Jason Harrison are swamped and busy at the moment, so I needed somebody to kind of talk back and forth to, either that or I was going to have to be on here and talk to myself.
You don't do good when you do that.
Yeah. I mean, you can, it's all right to talk to yourself. It's when you answer yourself.
That's when you got the problem right there. Yeah.
All right. So Hammonds went with me actually over the weekend, and we covered Prep Red Zone Kentucky. So I thought I'd give Hammonds a chance here to kind of talk about going to Louisville on Sunday and going to St. Xavier High School and covering Prep Red Zone Kentucky. Mm-hmm. So what'd you think about it on Sunday, Hammonds?
I liked it. It was a lot of fun. I wish it had been better weather conditions. It was really cold and windy, but there was a lot of great players there. I was really interested in the kid from Breathitt County, Corey Combs. He really shined on the big stage up there at St. X. The Smith brothers from Taylor County were really good. The kid from Christian Academy, Cotton, Trey Cotton.
Trey Cotton
was his name. Yeah, Trey.
Yeah.
And then there was another kid, the Coulter. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Jaquan, he was from Taylor County too. So Taylor County's got quite a bit of athletes on their team.
Taylor County is a team to look out for in the state of Kentucky next year. I'm going to tell you right now. So there was 3 that everybody's going to talk about, and you've already mentioned 3 of them. But there was a sophomore from the 2026. He'll be a sophomore. He was a freshman this year. He was a receiver. His name was Cross Watson, I believe. and he's a 2026 guy, and he impressed me as well. His route running, he's a wide receiver, and his route running was great. I mean, he could stick his feet in the ground and make moves, had good hands on a cold day. So you combine him with the Smith brothers, Caden and Peyton, and then you have Jaquan Coulter that's a DB, and you combine them, and then they also have the offensive lineman, Hayes Johnson, I think is his last name, that is signed with Kentucky already.
He's from Johnson Central.
Or not signed, but committed to Kentucky already. And he's from Taylor as well, right?
I think maybe he's from Johnson Central, maybe.
Oh, is he?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it might be.
I was thinking there was a big boy that we had committed that was from Taylor County.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong one, but
it might be the kid from Johnson Central. But there was another one there that really caught my eye, was the Anthony kid from Pikeville. He has a lot of speed on him, and Pikeville, they're always going to be really good in single A. Every single year Pikeville's up there with the best of the best. So overall, it was a fun camp. I'm excited about the opportunity of going to Tennessee to be involved in that camp as well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of, Tennessee coaches there, possibly Alabama, in that vicinity, Chattanooga, Nashville, because it's in Murfreesboro.
It's in Murfreesboro. So
you're going to have a lot of Chattanooga.
The entire western side of Tennessee for sure will be there. I would venture to say that there'll probably be some Knoxville kids there too, probably.
They will be, especially some Alcoa kids. I mean, there's probably
maybe even Chattanooga kids. We got some Chattanooga guys coming with the fanboys that's going to meet us there. And Carlito are going to be there. So I expect to see some Chattanooga guys there as well.
Yeah,
and that's next month. So we got about a month.
So.
Yeah, we got about a month away, but we are excited about covering that. All right. So we'll move on to the next thing here. I'm going to put up a little graphic here. So this is our official merch shop for College SportsCast. If you scan the screen, and I'll keep that up while the show is on, you can look over our merch shop. I recently added about 4 or 5 new shirts to it. I added a couple of coffee mugs. The coffee mugs are kind of motivational stuff. One says "Rise and Shine," and one says "Never Give Up."
Jimmy
right?
V.
Yeah, so it's kind of the Mamba mentality is my taking on it. On those two things, but I also added a volleyball shirt, a softball shirt. I added, a soccer shirt. We have basketball. There's a couple of football jersey shirts, baseball. Plus, we have the College SportsCast and the logo. There's about 3 or 4 of those to check out. So if you scan the screen, it'll take you directly to the website. And I do have a special treat for you when it comes to that. If you are watching our show right now, I will tell you that you can use the promo code WatchCSCast while the show is going on. And I will leave this up, and you can get 15% off. So, and I'll remind people throughout the show. It's kind of a live for people who are watching the show. You can get 15% off. Again, that code is WatchCSCast. And I'll leave this up while we're on tonight. That way everybody can get a chance to scan that code. And the QR code there at the bottom, if you put your phone up and scan that code, it'll take you directly to the website where you can order, and you can shop around and look.
Yeah, there's all kinds of neat little things on there.
Trying to be anyway. So today's big news in college basketball world was that Hunter Dickinson is going to visit Kentucky starting on the 23rd.
Yeah.
And he's going to visit, it says, to the 25th, which would be a 2-day visit in Kentucky. And that is going to be after he returns from a Kansas visit. He's supposed to be going to.
And then I think after the Kentucky visit, he's got Villanova that next Friday, I think.
Yeah.
So we probably won't hear anything till probably for about 2 weeks, unless he just absolutely just blows us away and says, "Hey, I'm going to Kentucky or Kansas Monday afternoon or Tuesday." I mean,
right. It's possible. I mean, these two big schools, that are going to throw their big pitch at them and tell them everything. So, and he's averaged 18 and a half points a game for 3 years, 8.5, 9 rebounds a game for 3 years at Michigan. He does have a COVID year as well. So, I mean, he technically could have 2 years remaining with that COVID year if he needs it or if he wants it for whatever school he goes to. He possibly could be there 2 years. The Kentucky news is kind of coinciding with the Oscar Tshiebwe news. So it looks like more than likely that Kentucky, if they do get one, will only be one and not both.
Well, according to Kyle Tucker today, he said that it was his understanding that Oscar told the staff that he gave his blessing to go build a team. So if that's the case, you either got to think that Oscar is either gone or that Hunter Dickinson is going to end up eventually signing here, and then that's going to just, push Oscar out the door. Or there could be a possibility where him and Oscar could play together, which I don't know if that would actually happen.
I don't see that happening, but I mean, stranger things have happened, I guess. But I really
don't see it. I tell you why I don't see it happening, Brad, is just because of Aaron Bradshaw. Because Aaron Bradshaw is wanting to play the 4, and then if you got Dickinson at the 5, where are you going to put Oscar at? You ain't going to put the National Player of the Year. So you ain't going to have him coming off the bench. I mean, that's just
no. If Oscar comes back, he won't come off the bench. That's just not
going to happen, though.
Yeah, I mean that won't happen. I don't care who's here. Oscar won't come off the bench. But my guess is that Oscar wants to do everything he can do to become a pro. Yeah. But that being said, he's not even listed in the second round on mock drafts. Now,
here's the thing that we put all of our eggs in a basket with Shaden Sharp, right? And we got burned on that deal. Then you had last year where you could have had another guard with Reeves, but I guess Cal didn't really go after anybody else after he got Reeves, and CJ. But we've been burned, I guess, the last 2 years, and we can't have that happen again. He's got
Ugana has announced he's coming back. You'll have a Du Fierro back next year. Yeah. That'll be at least 2 players that are back, and you've got the 5-star kids coming in. All right, so that's 7. If you can land one of Hunter Dickinson or Tshiebwe, then you've got 8. All right.
Then you might just need a role player.
Then you've got Reeves that's still going to probably make a decision, and I keep hearing that there's a likely 60% chance that he comes back, that his NIL money will far outweigh anything he can do, professionally. So, and then you have Livingston,
which got good news today a little bit about.
Chris Livingston, who, there's some news today that he's 50-50 about returning or staying in the draft. I don't know at this point. You still have to go through, combines and all that kind of stuff. And he is close to, a second round pick, but he's not quite there yet. Livingston's not. I mean, maybe he could get there in the combines and stuff. And then technically, Damian Collins has not announced anything yet.
I think he said a thing, no.
So we still don't know exactly about Damian Collins. And then you got Lance Ware on the bench as well.
Which I don't think he's going to leave just because he played with DJ Wagner at Camden
in high school. Yeah. He played with DJ Wagner in high school. And so there are 4 others. And then I didn't even mention CJ Fredericks. Early on, I had heard that there was a chance that Fredericks would like to come back.
Well, his situation, he's been injured. He's engaged to one of the former UK players.
And the girl that he's engaged to, who is a basketball player herself, has announced that she's not coming back.
Mm-hmm. So
Blair Green has announced that she's not coming back for her, 5th year, COVID year, whatever, whatever it would have been, but she could have come back one more year. So maybe the writing's on the wall that CJ doesn't come back. I'm not exactly sure, but
here's the big thing with the portal that I told some people yesterday. You can't sit and wait on certain decisions, because if you wait on these NBA guys at the end of May, you might miss out on a couple guys. And you're going to have to make some tough choices coming up, especially with Dickinson and with the Oster situation. You can't sit around and wait till the end of May and hope one of them declares, or if Oster comes back or stays in the draft. Because if you don't, you could miss out on both players. And you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, so, I think that's why Oscar said, go ahead and do what you need to do. But at the same time, I think Oscar is confident enough in himself and knows that if he was to come back, that he would still have a spot, probably.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of part of it as well. So we'll see. There is a bunch of possibilities for Kentucky. What I do know is this. Cal seems to be kind of going back to his recruiting ways of old. And of old, I mean of his early days at Kentucky, his late days at Memphis, where he is going after the best of the best.
And even
in this transfer portal,
yeah,
the only ones that we've been linked to or talked to or whatever is really the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. And this class, it's not the best class according to a lot of people, but DJ Wagner is really good. Justin Edwards is really good. Will Dillingham has got probably the best handles I've ever seen. Some of his highlight films will make you drop your jaw a little bit. He's got some handles on him. And I just wonder, will Cal let them go? You know what I'm saying? Like, let them just turn them loose. He let Monk and Fox get turned loose, and you see what they're doing.
So I think that's the reason why he's kind of going back to that, to the Monk and Fox and Bam days, and where he has that kind of talent on the team.
And he hasn't had that in the last couple of years. What he's got coming in this year. Everybody says, well, it's going to be the same Kentucky team, same stuff that happened in the tournament. Well, the process that has happened with that is just that's been as of recent. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not been a long drought. I'm just saying it's been a couple of years. Yeah, he's not had the type of talent that he normally has, and like you said,
no, he changed a little bit. And I said this today on Twitter. So about 3 or 4 years ago, he changed a little bit. I'd say 4 now, probably. He changed a little bit. and he started getting 2 or 3 of the top high school kids, and then mixing in some mid-major and some transfers and mixing in some players. And the problem with that is, and this is what I said today on Twitter, is he changed his recruiting philosophy, but he didn't change his coaching philosophy. And what happened is his coaching philosophy is, I'm just going to out-talent everybody, and I'm going to have 6, 7, 8 NBA guys on my team, and we're going to kick y'all's butt.
Yeah,
that's what he does. Okay, it's what he does the best. All right. The problem with that is the last 3 or 4 years, we haven't had 6, 7, 8 NBA guys on the team. We're lucky if we have 2, maybe 3.
That's why I felt bad for Case and Wallace. You know, he was just in that group of, you know, I don't know. It just never seemed like he got in a groove. There was 2 or 3 games there where he played really well, and then he had that injury, and he just never seemed like he just.
And I'm not knocking the Kentucky guys, because Toppin and Oscar are at best are fringe NBA guys.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of talent, but at best they're fringe NBA guys. Livingston is a fringe NBA guy, at least after 1 year.
There was flashes last year. Like
Now,
Livingston,
I think Livingston can be an NBA player. I actually think Damian Collins can be an NBA player if he gets playing time. But
Collins needs to put some extra weight on. He needs to bulk up.
What I'm saying is there was some guys that are on the fringe on the team last year, but they're not quite there. I mean, Reeves would love to play professional ball. He's a great player. I mean, he's a good player. You know what I mean? But he's not Blake Monk level.
No, he's.
You know what I mean? He's just not. He's not Tyler Hero level.
No, he's just. He's average. You know, he'd be
good. He's better than just average.
Well, I wouldn't say he's average. I say he's more like a role player type.
Yeah,
you know, and that's good. And that's good.
And he can knock down 20 any night. He can. I'm not going to say he can. He can. He proved that.
He did.
You know, so
he went cold on a night that we needed him, though. Kansas State. He just never could get it together.
But that's what happens.
And
that's how John Wall's team got knocked out. We went cold on a night when we needed it. You know what I mean?
Happens in the tournament. It's just one of those deals.
Yeah. All right. So I do have the screen up for you guys. You can go to our merch shop there, scan that code or scan the QR code there on the screen. When you are shopping, you can use our code WatchCSCast for a 15% discount. I'll throw that out at you. We're going to move along and talk some football. So there was a Brad Crawford 24/7 article that come out a couple of days ago, and he is ranking the SEC quarterbacks and gives a little bit of update and info on the SEC quarterbacks 14 through 1 coming out of spring camp. Okay. So again, this is Brad Crawford 24/7. I want to give credit to where credit's due. I'm just kind of using this as a tool to discuss and stuff. At number 14, he actually has Graham Mertz with Florida as the number 14 ranked starter in the SEC.
And I'll be honest with you, there wasn't a lot of really positive news out of that Florida spring game.
The spring game the other night was dull and boring and hardly any offense. And he gave Graham Mertz a grade of C. But, he says, he was brought in from Wisconsin, and he didn't exactly light up the scoreboard, basically.
So if you remember correctly, Graham Mertz was connected to Kentucky at one time, and
He
then I
was
don't really
early
know
on.
early on, and then it just kind of evaporated, and they went, and Kentucky went an opposite direction, which I'm kind of glad they did in a way.
So I'm just throwing this out. You don't see Florida dead last in the SEC in too many things,
Not many.
you know. But at number 13, he has Robbie Ashford from Auburn.
I figured that would be.
Number 13 is Robbie Ashford with Auburn. He did give Robbie Ashford a spring grade of a B. But, you know, he's not exactly a match with the new head coach, Hugh Freeze. You know, Hugh Freeze likes to sling the ball around, and Robbie is more of a
dual threat, yeah.
Dual threat, more of a running dual threat quarterback. So they're not exactly a match. You know, so it's still yet to be seen on who is actually going to get the starter spot. But Brad Crawford is saying as of now, after spring, that he thinks that Robbie Ashford is going to be the guy. And he's ranking him 13th in the SEC.
He's got a lot of work to do between now and September.
Yeah.
Especially throwing the ball, yeah.
All right. Number 12, he has Brady Cook, Missouri.
I don't agree with that in a way. But that's his opinion, though.
This is an article with here, but, you know, with him that Brad Crawford did. But, you know, he's Eli Drinkwitz is, you know, sticking with him. He does have he has Jake Garcia, who transferred in there. You know, so he has another option. But he is putting Brady Cook as the possible starter for Missouri.
There were some games last year where Brady Cook looked really good, then there was games where he looked really bad. But, you know, I still think, to me,
he actually didn't participate in the spring. He's coming off of a shoulder surgery, a labrum. So he actually didn't participate in the spring. So I do want to put that out there. Number 11, and this one might surprise you. He has Jackson Dart, Ole Miss, as number 11 coming out of spring. He did give Jackson Dart a B grade. And Lane Kiffin has not. There's a competition going on there. He has not come out and said that Jackson Dart has won the job, but Brad Crawford here, 24/7 Sports, is predicting that Jackson Dart will be the starter for Ole Miss. And he is.
You basically got to give it to him. I mean, look what he did last year. I mean,
but he's in a battle. He's in a battle with Spencer Sanders, who transferred from Oklahoma State, and Spencer Sanders is a good quarterback.
He can sling it.
So, you know, there is a chance that Jackson Dart doesn't win this job.
Spencer put up some big numbers too last year.
He did. Like I said, there's actually 3 quarterbacks. There's an LSU transfer as well. Walker Howard is on there too.
That's surprising that he would transfer from LSU, though. That's with the situation there. I mean, he could have.
And they are having a true competition, and it's a 3-way competition. And they have not. Lane Kiffin has not announced anything. But Brad Crawford here from 24/7 Sports is predicting that Jackson Dart will get the start at the beginning.
He's good at trolling people, though.
Brad Crawford?
No, Lane Kiffin.
Oh yeah, Kiffin.
He likes to troll people on social media, on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
he's known for his antics.
But I did want to put some stuff out there that they are having a competition, and there is 2 other quarterbacks. Spencer Sanders is a great quarterback. And like I said, LSU transfer Walker Howard is there too, and he's competing. All right, Texas A&M is number 10, Connor, and I'll probably screw up his name, but Weigman. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. Do you know, John?
Connor Weigman. I think
it's Weigman.
I don't know how to.
They're in a competition too, and they have a new offensive coordinator. Everybody should know who that is. Bobby Petrino was brought in there. So we'll see how that goes out. I think you got two personalities that just don't mix. They both think they're top dog and that they can't do no wrong, both of them. I just don't see that working out. But anyway, they also have Max Johnson, who transferred there last year, and he's competing. And this job has not been told yet either. So the two of them are competing. He is giving Connor the edge here, possibly starting, in the fall to start out with.
That's number 10, right?
It's number 10, and he gave Connor a B grade as well. Number 9, he actually has A.J. Swan from Vanderbilt.
He's pretty good.
And he gave A.J. Swan an A grade coming out of spring ball.
They played impressive down the stretch last year.
They did. They beat Kentucky. They beat Tennessee.
Yeah, No, they didn't beat
Tennessee. They beat Tennessee the year before.
The year before last, yeah.
Yeah. When I said that, I was like, wait a second.
They beat Kentucky and Lexington.
Yeah.
They just dominated.
After I said that, did you see my wheels turning? It was the year before last that they beat upset. They upset Tennessee. But so A.J. Swan is more than likely going to be the starter. I think he's been getting the snaps and everything as the starter. They do have Ken Sills still there, who has been a starter on and off for Vandy the last couple of years. But Swan is a sophomore, and he's pretty good.
He busted on the scene last year. He had some pretty decent games, even in some losses. He played really well in some losses.
Yep, and he's got him at number 9. This one's going to surprise you. Number 8 is Devin Leary, Kentucky. I was actually surprised that he was that low, to be honest with you, on this list. He did give Devin Leary a B+ grade on his spring. A whole lot of it had to do with his health, because there were some questions coming off of shoulder surgery if he was going to be ready. He did fully participate in spring ball this year with Kentucky, which I think is going to pay off this fall and fall camp. And when the season starts,
you get behind the 8 ball when you don't practice in the spring.
Yeah, especially transferring in and trying to learn a new system, because
you got to learn to connect with your players.
He's been a quarterback that hasn't been used to snaps under center, and he hasn't done play action stuff all that much in his career at NC State. Okay, so and Liam Cohen and they like to snap it and do some play action stuff and fake the handoffs and pull the ball back. And there's a lot of things that Devin is trying to pick up. Not only that, but the offense is a pro-style offense. You're going to be learning pro-style language, and he's not coming from that, and he has to learn all of that. So spring ball and getting the chance to go ahead and begin to learn all that was majorly important, if you ask me.
It
was. I was kind of surprised that he had Devin Leary at number 8, though. Number 7, he's got Jalen Milroe, Alabama.
He played good in that Arkansas. Was it the Arkansas game that he played really well?
Yeah.
It was Arkansas, wasn't it? Yeah, he looked really good.
Now, He has not been announced as the starter yet. This is just guessing and what Brad Crawford thinks. He is competing with Ty Simpson, but most people think that Jalen Milroe will be the pick, from what I am hearing, in Alabama.
Biggest issue for Alabama last year was their defense. They couldn't stop a
Yeah.
nosebleed. And, they're going to have to improve on the defense. You can improve on the offensive side of the ball and still be the same, but if you can't stop anybody, you ain't going to win many games. And they just got run over last year. And just wasn't your normal Alabama unit that you're used to seeing out there.
Yeah, this is true. But don't be surprised if the offense doesn't click and still look just as good even without Bryce Young.
Yeah, you're playing for the GOAT. I mean,
don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Number 6, they have Will Rogers, Mississippi State. They gave him a B.
Pick.
They gave him a B grade coming out of camp.
Mm-hmm.
He is definitely the starter. No question. He is going to be the starter now. It is a completely different team, new offense. It's not going to look the same. I'm going to miss Mike Leach. I'm just going to say it up front. I'm going to miss the air raid, and I think Will Rogers is going to miss it too. Yeah. You won't see 40 touchdowns from him this year. You won't see him with 5,500 yards or whatever it is. He had a whole bunch the last 2 years. Led the nation both years, or it might have been both years.
Mike Leach was he's just a special person, and his interviews his
72 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons.
That's amazing. And they wasn't nobody that loved each other more than Will Rogers and Mike Leach. They was connected at the hip, and
they were.
And it's going to be first couple of weeks is going to be tough without coach.
Myself. I mean, Arnett's going to be he's a great defensive mind. I don't know how he's going to do as a head coach, but he's a great defensive mind, and we'll see how this works out. But for me, I'm going to miss Mike Leach, and I think Will Rogers will too.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, they have Spencer Rattler, South Carolina. That's number 5.
Let me say this:
they gave him a B+ grade coming out of spring.
He really played balls out. If we get the Spencer Rattler from the last 4 games,
the last 3 games,
games, South Carolina's going to be something to deal with.
But if we get Spencer Rattler the first 8 or 9 games, I'm just not. I wasn't overly impressed until like 3 games.
I mean, Tennessee game, which you got to remember, Hendon Hooker got hurt and he tore his ACL and he was out for the year. But that whole game, he torched Tennessee's secondary. And I'll even go as far as say this: if Tennessee doesn't lose that game, they're going to the college football playoff.
Oh yeah, they probably are.
With that one loss they had.
5 is somewhere close to probably where he's going to be. 5-6 range would be my guess. I don't know. I myself, off of what Devin Leary has done. Now he's transferring a different team, new league, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, number 4, Tennessee's Joe Milton. Gives him a
rocket for an arm.
He gives him a B+ grade coming out of spring.
I'm going to tell you something.
And he says that there is no quarterback controversy out of the Vols coming out of spring, which is a pretty big statement with the 5-star kid coming in.
Nico's pretty good. And I'm going to be honest with you. Joe Milton is got a rocking of an arm. And
maybe even better than Hendon Hooker. And Hendon Hooker,
if you put
as
him
far
in
as just an arm,
you put him in a Josh Heupel offensive, playbook, it's untelling what this kid could end up being.
do you really think that he has it locked up with this Nico kid? I don't even want to begin to now try to pronounce his last name, but
I wouldn't say it's a lock, to be honest. I think Nico will see time. There'll be times where Tennessee might blow a team out and Nico will get some spot minutes, mop up time. But, I mean, if you look at what Joe Milton did in the Orange Bowl against Clemson, he was pretty impressive at times. And it's going to be hard to knock him out of being the quarterback.
I mean, I agree with you.
But you just never know. I mean,
my question basically is it locked up already? And I don't know if it's locked up.
I don't think it's locked up yet. No.
Number 3,
a lot of that's coaches speak a lot of times.
Yeah. Number 3, he actually gives very high praise to Carson Beck from Georgia.
He looked good the other day in the spring game.
The spring game.
He's got an arm on him.
He says that he looks great. He went 18 of 22 in the spring game. Crawford says he reminds him a whole lot of Drake May from North Carolina as a college quarterback.
Pretty good.
And he says that he does not think that they will miss a beat after the 2-time defending champ Stetson Bennett.
I don't know.
Leaves.
I don't agree with that.
That's what he says.
I know a lot of people don't like Stetson. And, everybody said, well, he can't do this, he can't do that. He just won 2.
Crawford is actually predicting that he plays so well that he'll be in next year's draft. Carson Beck. Sorry,
I just love talking season. I love talking season, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. That's what the article says, okay?
I mean, it's hard to replicate.
He gave Beck a grade A for spring. It's
hard to replicate what Stetson Bennett did. He was a two-time national champion. Come off the bench and won him a title. Like,
he's giving a kid the number 3 spot and never played. Stetson done it all. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. If some of these quarterbacks that they're looking at in the draft are going to get drafted, that I see that is, fringe NFL players, you need to look at Stetson Bennett too. Because somebody take a chance on him.
I agree with you.
Somebody will pick him up in the second.
The kid can play. Well, I don't know if you call him a kid anymore, but he's like 26 or something. Yeah.
But he's got an arm on him, and he's a game manager. A lot of people, and that's fine. Georgia done what they had to do. He did what he had to do. And
he's a 2-time defending national champion. And I'm going to tell you right now, that doesn't happen very often. Even with the best of teams, it doesn't happen every time.
And I'll be honest with you.
I can remember the USC team with Reggie Bush, and everybody thought they were going to repeat. Didn't happen.
Vince Young did it.
It didn't happen.
Vince Young took care of that.
All right. Number 2, Jaden Daniels, LSU. That's who he has. He has him at number 2. I don't know about that.
I don't either. I think there's a lot of promise there, but there was some games last year that Jaden just didn't really look good. I'll leave it at that.
He says he managed 28 total touchdowns last year and almost 3,800 yards of offense. That's not.
I will say this: his game against Alabama was the game when I thought he could really take over a football game. He managed that game to a T. He did things that I didn't think he could do. He made some throws, made some plays with his feet. I believe that was his coming out party. And if we see that Jaden Daniels, then LSU is going to be a threat to possibly crash the college football playoff.
I think they're going to have a chance if they – now, they start the season out with Florida State again, and, that's going to be a tough opener right there from the very beginning.
They get Travis
and
back
this time it's at FSU. They lost it last year at home.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an even tougher game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think LSU does have a chance.
They do.
Yeah, this year to be special.
Were it a neutral site last year?
No, I'm pretty sure it was at home.
I think it was a neutral site. It was at in Louisiana, I think, or Florida. If I recall, I can't remember.
Maybe it was at a neutral site in Louisiana.
It might have been, yeah.
Maybe
I can't remember, man. Football's been so far off. I can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking it was at home, but you might be right. It might have been, at a neutral site in Louisiana.
I can't remember because everything was Georgia all year long. Georgia.
Yeah.
Which Georgia's the new. Well, I wouldn't say they're the new Alabama, but they're
pretty close. Yeah,
they're close. Yeah.
Number 1, KJ Jefferson, Arkansas.
I agree with that.
He gave him a B+ out of spring practice.
That's my quarterback right there.
But that's the number 1 spot. SEC after spring football, he has KJ Jefferson as the number 1 quarterback.
There was games last year where Arkansas played absolutely horrific, and KJ Jefferson. My apologies. KJ Jefferson's literally just kept them in the game. Basically, willed them to come back in a lot of games. And I'm high on KJ. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
He's got him at number 1.
I'd have him at number. I got him at number 1.
If you want to give me, you said something about that you could give me your top 5. I went through all of that just to have a little discussion about it. So you tell me who you think your top 5 QBs to be in the SEC next year.
My top 5, 1 would be KJ Jefferson. 2 would be Will Rogers from Mississippi State. 3 would be Jaden Daniels from LSU. 4 would be Joe Milton. And 5 would probably be Devin Leary. I think Devin Leary's got the chance to be more than a 5, but the biggest thing with Leary is how healthy will he be? He's had some injuries, he's had some tough luck, and how will he respond is my biggest key with Devin. And how far Kentucky's offensive line will go, because last year the offensive line was atrocious.
Absolutely.
Let's not even get into that right now.
Yeah, I don't want to absolutely.
I don't want to think bad thoughts to that.
But I think Devin has a chance to be in the top 5 quarterbacks of the SEC this year. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, if the season was to go perfectly for Kentucky and kind of show out, I think there's a possibility he could be top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Possible.
I mean, you got.
I'm just saying.
Starting out
the year, it's possible.
They play Eastern, Akron, Ball
They have
State. 5
games. The 5th game is a Florida game, and to be honest with you, it's a Florida team they should beat again.
And then they play Georgia.
Yeah. So, the first 5 games.
Then they got a bye week, I believe, after that, and they play – is it Tennessee after that? No, it's Missouri they play. Then they have a bye week. Yeah. And then they play Tennessee. Yeah. Always after a bye week, we play Tennessee for some odd reason, and we never come out ready to play.
Nope. Nope.
every
This
year.
is so
I
true.
think they do that intentionally.
So true.
I'm
Not
kidding.
even funny. It's true.
It's fact.
All right, guys. So I'm going to mention our college sports cast merch shop that's on the screen. You can scan that QR code and shop around. We have about 8 or 10 different shirts, hoodies, sweaters, a couple of different motivation mugs, coffee mugs. One is Rise and Shine, and one is Never Give Up. And their college sports cast. You can, while you are watching here tonight, you can use Watch CS Cast for a 15% discount. Just scan that QR code to take you right to the online shop. Can't be no easier than that, right?
No, it's a wrap.
Can't be no easier than that. I mean, come on.
Especially if you're an internet guru. Yeah.
I mean, All right, so I'm going to take a second here to talk about the Real Fresh channel. We're on the Real Fresh channel now. We are featured on Sunday nights. We have been off. It was Easter a couple of weekends ago, and then last week I did the Prep Red Zone Kentucky stuff. But we will soon again be featured on the Real Fresh channel. And
wrestling. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, and he covers a lot of different stuff, and I'm going to let him do a little talk and a little commercial here. We'll be right back.
Hey, I am Hal Fresh here to tell you about the Real Fresh channel. That's right, youtube.com/the Real Fresh channel. We are a network aiming to bringing you various content each and every day, different types of podcasts, different type of content. Anything from college sportcast and fresh takes for some sports. We also got You Want to Do What? We got the Wrestling Corner. We got live stream. Just go over to youtube.com/the Real Fresh channel and hit us up today. Thank you for checking it out. Appreciate your time.
All right, guys, y'all check out Howie Fresh, the Real Fresh channel.
Howie.
Yep, he's helps us out a lot. He's part of the fanboys over there at the top of the screen, as we are too. So just kind of helping him out here on the show, and we appreciate Howie, and check his channel out as well. So I'll try to get that in when I have time and when I think about it. So we're going to move on to our game day pick'ems. This time of the year is baseball season. College baseball SEC season is halfway through. Last weekend was the 5th of 10 weekend series. Kentucky is 4-1 in those series. They are 10-5 in the SEC, and having a really great year so far. Last weekend, the number one team, they took them to the wire and lost 7-6 on Sunday late in that game to win the series. But we'll get to them here in a little bit. We're going to start with number 5, Arkansas plays number 6, number 5, Arkansas plays Georgia this weekend in a weekend series. And I'm going to be honest with you, their first game just went final. There's 2 SEC weekend series that started on Thursday, which is tonight. This is one of them. The other ones start on Friday in our Friday, Saturday, Sunday games. These 2 are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Georgia upset Arkansas 6-5 tonight. Georgia is near the bottom of the SEC East. I don't think
they took 2 or 3 from Kentucky.
Yeah, they did. So Georgia is on the up now coming. So they also have knocked off Arkansas tonight 6-5. So there's 2 games left.
Where's it at, Georgia?
Yes. There's 2 games left. Does Georgia continue their upswing and get one more of the 2 games and knock off Arkansas in this series?
I don't think so. I think Arkansas will be ready this weekend. I think they'll
That's
win.
what I would pick. I would pick Arkansas. I mean, they're 5th-ranked team in the country.
I think they'll win.
I would pick Arkansas to win this because Georgia started out not good, but they've come on. They also beat Auburn too, I'm pretty sure.
I got Arkansas.
All right. Then the second series that started tonight, and this is kind of surprising. Florida is number 3 in the country, and South Carolina is number 6 in the country. South Carolina 10-run ruled them in 7 innings, 13-3.
God.
And Florida,
South Carolina's legit this year.
They are, but Florida has their first baseman is, if I was picking, and I'm not picking, and I don't know enough to be able to say that I even could pick, but their first baseman I would pick for the Golden Spikes Award right now, either him or the LSU pitcher, one of the two. One of the two I would pick. So for them to get beat now, it's at South Carolina, and they got beat 13-3 tonight. There's 2 games left in the series. And does South Carolina take this series from Florida?
I think they do.
Yeah, they are. Oh, their offense is legit. Honestly,
they
South Carolina is. Yeah, they can score some runs.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you, Florida first baseman is like leading the country in RBIs and home runs. He may be second now, but I'm telling you, he's a bomb hitter. He can hit the bombs.
Yeah.
All right. So then I'm going to look at the rest of the SEC. You got Vanderbilt at Tennessee. Vanderbilt is ranked 4th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, Tennessee has fell completely out of the rankings.
I wouldn't be shocked if Tennessee don't even make the tournament.
They're 23-14. They have fallen they started the season number 2 behind LSU.
And they lost to Tennessee Tech the other night too.
They did. They lost to Tennessee Tech in midweek this week. Vandy is actually leading the conference in wins over Florida. Vandy has the best record in the SEC right now. I want to say they've only lost 1. I think they're 14-1 or 13-2. I want to say 14-1. It's at Tennessee. Does Vandy take this series from Tennessee?
Yeah, I think they do. Tennessee's on a struggle bus right now. Early in the season, I would have said Tennessee probably win this game, win this series. But I really think Vandy. Vandy's going to win the series, and I'm not so sure that Vandy doesn't sweep them. I'm not, and then I'm not so sure Tennessee even gets in the tournament.
Yeah,
if they get there, they'll be lucky.
This is true.
There'll be some new teams arise this year.
All right, Texas A&M is at Kentucky this weekend. Starts tomorrow night. Texas A&M is not ranked. They have the same record as Tennessee, 23-14. They are near the bottom. They were ranked. They actually started the season like number 6 or number 8 or something
Kentucky's
like that.
what, 13th?
Kentucky is ranked 13th. They're 29-7 overall. They're 10-5 in the SEC, and they get Texas A&M at home this weekend. I'm definitely going to pick Kentucky to win the series.
I think they'll win the series. I don't think they'll sweep them.
Yeah, they might not sweep.
Texas A&M will win one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Kentucky will win this series. They need this series. They play Florida and Vandy and South Carolina the next few weekends, and they've got a tough road ahead after this. After this one. Mississippi State is at Auburn. Both of these teams are near the cellar in the SEC rankings.
What's wild is Mississippi State put a whooping on Ole Miss last week. They done some damage to the Rebels.
It's at Auburn. Auburn can hit. Auburn's problem is they have no pitching.
They have no pitching whatsoever.
They have no pitching. Like, they just can't keep teams from scoring 8, 10, 12, 14, actually 17, 20 runs sometimes. Mm-hmm. They have no pitching.
I think they might need John Roberts out there pitching for them.
Like, seriously, they can't hold leads. Like, they'll be up 8-1 in the 5th inning, and then next thing you know, it'll be the 8th inning, and they'll be down 11-8. You're like, what?
Yeah,
what happened?
Like, what happened here?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going Bulldogs this weekend.
I think I'm going to take Auburn at home. It's a series that they absolutely have to win if they are going to sneak in the back door of the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
And then we have Alabama, who is 26-12 and unranked, but has been ranked off and on this year a few times, playing Missouri, who is 23-13. Missouri
started out fast, and then they just kind of died out.
Yeah. Missouri they swept Tennessee. Now Tennessee, looking at it, doesn't look like they're, that great anyway. So, but the first series of the SEC play, it looked like, wow, they swept Tennessee.
Didn't Kentucky run rule Missouri twice?
Yeah, Kentucky swept Missouri.
Yeah, they swept them. Yeah.
And this is at Missouri, and Bama plays them.
I think it'll be.
I'm going to go Bama.
Yeah, I think they'll at least split the series, or
I think they'll take 2. Yeah, 2 out of 3 and go Bama.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have LSU at Ole Miss, and poor Ole Miss is the seller of the SEC right now, and they are coming off of a national championship last year.
And I thought Ole Miss would be good this year,
and they're at the very bottom of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And LSU is at the very top. They're 29-7, ranked number 1 still. Kentucky did knock them off one time last weekend.
Where's it at? Ole Miss?
It's at Ole Miss.
Give me LSU in a sweep.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's probably a pretty good pick. That's probably what I would say too, is LSU in a sweep.
Dylan Cruz. Is it Dylan Cruz?
Mm-hmm.
He's an absolute stud.
Yep. And he's another one could get that Golden Spikes Award as well.
Yeah, he's something to watch now.
But that's the SEC schedule. I'm going to run through a couple of other things here real quick. Ranked teams, 21 Oregon State plays Arizona State this weekend. Let's see. Clemson and NC State play each other in baseball this weekend. Mm-hmm. Louisville plays Duke. Boston College plays North Carolina. They're both ranked 20 and 18 this weekend in baseball. Virginia, who is the 8th ranked team in the country, plays Notre Dame at Notre Dame this weekend. And those are what I know enough to talk about. John Roberts is our baseball guy here at College SportsCast. So we at least got in a little bit of baseball talk for you, and we tried to pick at least the SEC, because that's what John and I know mostly, is the SEC stuff. So I wanted to at least do some game day pick'em with the SEC talk.
I was on mute, my bad. Appreciate you for letting me come on tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll get John Roberts and Jason back on the menu.
Jason will be back Tuesday, and hopefully John We'll be back Sunday. He'll be back Sunday. Sunday, actually, we have a Green Bay Packers NFL insider that's going to be on with us, and John's the one that lined this up. He does a Green Bay Packers podcast, and he's kind of an insider.
You're a Packer fan too.
Yeah, and we're both Packers fans, and he's going to be on with us Sunday. I can't really remember the guy's name.
You know who you haven't had on? A Cowboy guy. And I know why.
I wonder.
And I know why, because you don't like.
I wonder why.
You do not like Dallas. Oh my goodness! I'm
over Dallas. Yeah, everybody wants to talk about Dallas and this and Dallas that and this and Dallas next year, and Dallas is going to get this one, and they're going to move the chains next year, and they're going to do this, and I'm so okay. So since the early to mid 90s, when Dallas was actually good and everybody talked about Dallas, I was okay with it. That was 30 years ago, people. It's time to get over that crap. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I just don't understand we've got two generations of decades of people started that have never seen Dallas do nothing in the NFL playoffs. It's the truth. So, how on earth do you still have all these Dallas fans? I don't get it.
Listen, we're like the Yankees of baseball. You either love us or hate us.
But the Yankees stay relevant. What has Dallas Cowboys done since 1995?
They won a few division titles. That's about it.
Just so over it. I'm tired of that's my deal.
Yeah.
Listen, you grew up in a time when you was a little kid, Dallas was the bomb. They were the team. Mm-hmm. And you remember that. Mm-hmm. That's fine. I understand that. I just don't understand the constant barrage of people who act as if Dallas has been relevant for damn near 30 years. If you want to bring up New England, if you want to bring up Pittsburgh, if you want to bring up even Green Bay, if you want to bring up Kansas City, if you want to bring up, Denver. Denver's had some runs over the years. Why Dallas? You might as well bring up the Detroit Lions.
Oh man, you hit me. You really want to go there tonight?
I don't understand. I really and truthfully don't understand. You might as well it's like the Raiders. The Raiders. I'm so tired of hearing about them too. The Raiders ain't done jack nothing since 1984. I'm serious. It's a heart attack.
Yeah. This topic is for another day.
I'm dead serious, John. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I know you're a diehard Dallas fan. You grew up that way. They were great when you were a kid. When you were 7 to 10 years old, they were the team of the NFL. Something like that.
Yeah.
When you was a kid.
Yeah.
Poor old Tony Romo. And then Tony Romo happened.
This is where I do my rant about the Packers, but I'm going to take a turn and we'll just log out for the night.
All right. Hey, you brought up Dallas.
I know I shouldn't have.
That's I can't help it. Like, I just don't understand.
I know you don't.
I really don't. It would be different if they had stayed relevant. Like, okay, it's been several years since New England's done anything because Tom Brady's been gone.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that 25 years from now, there's still all this talk about how New England and all these fans, and New England's not done nothing for 28 years. What? Like, why? I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Washington Redskins, okay? You're a Dallas fan and you hate them. I get it. But through the 80s and the early 90s, the Washington Redskins was kicking tail.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, now I know they're the Commanders, whatever. I don't even say that. Anyway, they were the Redskins back then, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, does anybody even care? Like, does anybody even care about the Washingtons or whoever the hell they are this week?
Mm-mm.
Because they ain't done nothing for 30 years.
Mm-mm. It's a new age.
They haven't done a thing since 1992.
It's a new age.
So nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Oh, shit.
I'm just saying. Nobody cares.
Mm-mm.
I'm telling you, Jerry Jones, he's the Al Davis of the NFL.
Yeah. That's one
Just
thing we
win.
will agree on.
Just win, baby. Just win.
Just win.
Okay. I'm done, John. I'm sorry. I'm killing your team.
That's all right.
I'm done. But I don't know. I can't help it when it comes to that. All right, man. You can jump off. I appreciate you being on with me. I'll wrap this up.
I appreciate
and
it.
do a few like show talk and stuff, and then I'll wrap this up. But I appreciate you being on with me and talking Kentucky and QBs and doing a few game day pick'ems and stuff for me.
And then running down my Dallas Cowboys.
Man, listen, I'm not saying people who remember the good days can't be fans. I'm not saying that. I just don't understand the masses of people who still act like the Cowboys are relevant.
We get it. You're a Packer fan.
That's it.
Go Cowboys. Peace out.
All right, man. All right, guys. I appreciate John Hammonds being on with us. He brought up the whole Cowboy thing, and so I'm sorry. I kind of had to go on a rant there. All right, so we are being sponsored now by Prize Picks. You can go to prizepicks.com and use our promo code CSCast for initial deposit, and you can receive 100% match. You can double your money. So if you up to $100, if you put down $50, you can get $100 to play with. If you put down $100, you get $200 to play with. It's a daily fantasy sports betting. You can go higher or lower. The NBA playoffs are going on. It's a great time to be a part of it. And again, you can double your money, $5 minimum bets, I think. And you can pick your favorite team, your favorite player, and hell, if he's going to go higher or lower than the average points or assist or whatever you want to pick. And use our promo code CSCast for initial deposit to double your money. So we appreciate that. If you're on with us right now, I have our College Sportscast merch shop up, and there's a QR code. You can scan that QR code, and it'll take you straight to our online shop. And there's about 8 or 10 different shirts there. We've got baseball, football, basketball, volleyball, soccer, softball. And you can choose, I think most of the shirts have up to 5 colors that you can choose from. We also have a couple of sports inspirational coffee mugs. We've got one that says never give up, and we have one that says rise and shine. My take on that kind of stuff is kind of the Mamba mentality. You can go on there and shop. If you're watching our show right now, you can use our code WATCHCSCAST for a 15% discount on our merchandise shop. We would appreciate the support, guys. We appreciate being on College Sportscast, being on WSBN TV. We are on channel 30. That has been scrolling at the bottom of the screen all night long. And you can download the BoxCast app, and you can find us on Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick, stream Roku for free, and other things. We are in over 100 countries with our WSBN TV channel 30. So we appreciate them and want to give them a shout out. You can also find us on our Linktree. I'll get that up on the screen real quick. Linktree, College Sportscast, and it has our shop that's on our screen right now on there, our Twitter handles, TikTok, our YouTube, the WSBN TV channel, a link to that. So you can find anything and everything that we do. Our Facebook page, you can find everything we do at our Linktree. It's our one-stop shop for everything College Sportscast. So please check that out as well. And then I will wrap things up with our Home for Our Troops. That's our 2023 nonprofit organization that we're asking everyone to give to from Defend Boys with the Defend Boys. Home for Our Troops. They build homes for injured and wounded vets. They've been doing that for 20 plus years, and it is completely cost-free for them. And for every dollar that you give, 90 cents of that dollar goes towards rebuilding their lives and building these injured and wounded vets homes all across the United States. So they will build those homes anywhere, and you can give to them at www.hfotusa.org. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. We are on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time, or Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Sunday afternoons is our time that we are on. And this Sunday, we will have a special Green Bay Packer NFL insider on with us. John Roberts will be back with us on Sunday, I'm sure, and we will have him with us and be talking NFL draft. We'll be talking some players that he thinks that the Green Bay Packers are hoping that's going to be there for their 15th pick in the first round, and kind of get a breakdown of where he thinks they might go with some of their other picks, in the other rounds, 2nd through 7th. And what their needs are outside of the whole Aaron Rodgers deal, but where he thinks they might go with this draft and the needs that they might take care of in the draft for the Green Bay Packers. So we are excited about doing that on Sunday. Catch us at it's the 23rd Sunday at 3 p.m. for that special. And one last time, our College Sportscast official page is up. Online shop is up. You can scan that code there and use our code WATCHCSCAST for a 15% discount. Appreciate you being on with me tonight. We will wrap this up, and we will see you on Sunday for our Green Bay NFL Draft special. Y'all have a good night.